We ain't live yet. And then after, okay, there we go. There we go. All right, here we are. Man, I've been waiting to do this live stream for a minute since I found out that you was a diehard Jean Claude Van Damme fan. I said, you know what? We have to get on wax and talk about the legend, and that is Jean Claude Van Damme, who you named your son after.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I think this is the first time you're on the stream, man. So go ahead, introduce yourself, your channel, and how you became a fan of Van Damme.
cinematic tendency here. I met Rashad through a live stream, I guess, with Perez. I think he
Believe
had
so,
you
yeah.
there.
Hmm.
And then one time I hit him on I hit you on Instagram, and you've been in my channel no more than a few times, I think.
Hmm.
So thank you for having me. So yeah, and I got my channel, YouTube channel, Cinematic Tendency. Is I do it's about movies. I started doing reviews, but most recently I'm doing like out of the theater reactions. I also do unboxing videos of action figures, like the one you see behind me. And most of the unboxings, almost all of them are related to movies, related to video games, comics, anime, etc. And about when I became a fan of Van Damme, man, I was probably 8 or 9 years old, I guess, more or less. And I did a video in my channel about why I love Van Damme, and I kind of did like a memory lane. When I first was introduced to his movies, which I was in elementary school, and I was
Hmm.
introduced at school.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I went to this school, which is weird because like nowadays, I mean, you would say like who will play those kind of movies, rated R movies,
Hmm.
at elementary school. But it was at school, and you know what? I came up just fine. Uh, and I
no, no
believe
no damage done.
no, that it was Kickboxer. That was the movie.
Ah, okay,
And I
okay.
remember, I remember the teacher fast forward that scene in the nightclub, in the strip club in Thailand. I don't know if you
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, there was that strip scene. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you was gonna say the tongue pole rape. Well, they didn't show the rape, but it was insinuated that he
You insinuated,
violated
yeah.
your girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But early in the movie, right after, uh, I forgot the name of the guy, the army guy, who
Hmm.
he before he brings Kurt into his future teacher, he brings him to this like a Thai nightclub or whatever. So that's like a 10-15 second scene. So
Right.
it's not that long. But I remember the teacher fast forward that part because
It was a long, but for 15 seconds, you saw a couple of titties and a couple of booties bouncing and
songs.
stuff like
Yep,
that. Those
yep.
dongs and song. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, same here. My introduction to Van Damme was I was probably 9 years old when I saw when Bloodsport came out,
Hmm.
when Bloodsport first dropped. But I didn't realize that I'd seen Van Damme before that without even knowing it because he had a small little cameo in Breaking. Remember the movie Breaking with Turbo and Ozone? Yeah,
Yeah,
him and Tung Po were on the beach dancing together, watching the Ozone and Turbo. Man, he had the singlet on and everything. So
yeah.
I didn't realize that that's who it was until years later. And then after that, on HBO on repeat, they showed No Retreat, No Surrender,
Oh yeah,
where he
yeah, yeah,
played the Russian bad guy. And I
yeah.
saw
Hmm.
him in that. So I thought that Bloodsport was the first movie I seen him in. Then when I watched it, I said, "Oh yeah, he was in." I forgot he was in those two movies. But
Yeah,
Bloodsport was like the one where every kid was like, "I want to be that guy."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So at the time, you talk about the 80s where Arnold and Sly were like Bird and Magic. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys were the creme de la creme of action heroes. Like they were the face of
Yep.
action, right? And at this time, Chuck Norris is aging. He's, kind of dying out. Charles Bronson is dying out. So
Hmm.
we need some new meat. We need some fresh stars. And here comes this, 5'10" muscular Belgium dude with this funny accent who does these splits. You know what I mean? And that was just something like we've never seen that before. As much as we
Yeah,
love Arnold and Sly, like they're not fighters, like they're big muscular dudes, but like Van Damme was like he was aerial, he was kicking ass, man. martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like something we haven't seen since Bruce. You know what I mean? Or you could say Jackie Chan. So yeah, like Van Damme now he's kind of like the butt of a lot of jokes. But this is why I'm doing this live stream, because people forget that there was a period which we're gonna cover where Van Damme was king. He was
Yeah.
one of the kings.
He
So
wasn't. Yeah, he
huh?
was on the cover of all over the world, like a
Right,
major magazines, GQ
right.
and Playgirl too.
Yeah, like dog. How many kids have you seen try to do the split, man? And the girls loved him.
Yeah.
He was a handsome dude. So Van Damme was that guy where the guys wanted to be like him and the girls wanted to be him. You know what I mean? Well,
Yeah.
that's it, right? Yeah, I think I fucked that up. But
They wanted him.
they wanted him. Yeah, the girls wanted him, and the guys wanted to be him. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. So we're gonna start with the one that kicked everything off, with Bloodsport. All right, this is Canon Films, and if you know Canon Films, you know the kind of movies that they produced. And Bloodsport was almost an anomaly because it should have been in the same category of like Ninja 3 or Jim Cotta or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But if you take Van Damme out the movie and put somebody else in there, it would have been just another generic movie probably. But he was such a star that he just elevated that film, man. So Bloodsport, Frank Dukes, the so-called true story, which come to find out is kind of false. But we had this tournament, this Kumite,
Yeah.
Into the Dragon style, and it was our introduction to Van Damme. So, what was your thoughts on Bloodsport when you first saw it?
I think, if I remember correctly, I think Bloodsport was my second movie. I believe that one came out first, and then Kickboxer. But I was introduced to Kickboxer first, and then Bloodsport.
Right.
My thoughts about Bloodsport. One of them. Always one of those scenes. There's so many scenes that are embedded in my mind, but one of them is Chong Li moving his pecs.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. For whatever reason. And I remember doing that, blowing his nostril.
Right.
One
What
of
you got?
those.
What you got from Bruce? He stole that from Bruce.
Oh, he did that one for Bruce? Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, Bruce Lee used to do that. Yeah, Bruce Lee. Whenever he would get into a fight, he would always do that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and then he also got it from Bruce, like the like licking his own
Licking
blood.
his blood. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, Bloodsport was the one. That's a classic. That's a cult classic. That's the one that started all. Now, regarding the true story, well, that I'm not gonna go in the rabbit hole because, as you may know, dude, there is a whole, like, if you go if you go to YouTube and try to do a research about Frank Dukes, Bloodsport, is it true or not? You're gonna go in a huge rabbit hole, and you're not gonna be able to get out of there like quick. All I'm gonna say is, like, I think there's a little bit of truth there.
Probably like 3% truth, 97% fabricated.
and what changed my mind just a bit, and I'm gonna tell you and anybody watching online, live or after the fact. I met this guy, and I had him in my channel a few times live. He's the Viking Samurai. He has a huge YouTube channel about 80s and 90s action movies. So he interviewed a lot of like, he interviewed Van Damme's son, the older son, Chris. He interviewed who else? A lot of people, but some of them are going to come to. Lorenzo Lamas. He interviewed Lorenzo Lamas too. Yeah, the Renegade. And he also interviewed Frank Dukes.
The real Frank Dukes.
The real Frank Dukes. And it's a long interview, but he broke it into like 4 or 5 different videos, like 25, 30 minutes long each. Anyway, but if you are interested in to see the perspective of Frank Dukes regarding Bloodsport being true story or not, you guys watch those interviews.
Okay.
I'm not justifying or saying that he's telling the 100% truth, but some of the things he says kind of make sense a little bit. But at least it's good to have an open mind and watch it. So yeah, just Google Viking Samurai, Frank Dukes interviews, and then you guys can see it. Anyway, so that movie yeah, started at all like the concept of having like different martial art styles, the splits,
Mm-hmm.
dude. The splits and
Right.
hitting the sumo guy in the nuts,
Mm-hmm.
dude. That's Johnny Cage right there, dude. That's the
Yeah.
movement that
Yep.
inspired Mortal Kombat, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
Johnny
Mm-hmm.
Cage is JC. JC is Jean Claude. I mean, it's all over.
Right, right. Even the Muay Thai character Paco, you
Yeah,
could say
Paco.
he was Paco, you could say he was inspiration for Tung Po and Sagat Street Fighter. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Because that's the first time I've seen Muay Thai. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that movie introduced me to styles of martial arts that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
that Paco walking like that, like
Right, right.
getting the rhythm. I was like, that's so. I was a kid. I was a kid. I was like, that's so cool. The way he's moving.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
cool, dude.
and then you look at
Real.
Street Fighter, I'm like that's a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Sagat,
That's
yeah.
Tung Po. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
And the monkey style, that was funny to watch.
the monkey guy. Well, okay, well, that's one of the issues I had with the movie, man. How come
Oh,
they had the one brother being a monkey, and then you had the other brother, right, who looks the part. This brother he's built. He's like,
oh. Then gets one kick.
did all that. Yeah. And it got knocked out in like 2 seconds. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
the brothers don't get no love in this movie.
Dude, he was strong
Oh
though. He was
man,
strong. He looked good. He looked good.
he looks strong, but you couldn't
Yeah.
tell, And then even far Academy Award winner Forrest Whitaker is in this movie, and he's a
Oh, Forrest
buffoon.
Whitaker. Yeah, Whitaker. Yeah. Forrest Whitaker is in it. That's true. He's so young, dude. I always forget.
Yeah, yeah. He was one of the I guess
That
what detectives that was after Frank,
detectives or something. Yeah.
and Van Damme was outsmarting them and all that. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, despite the racial inequality in the movie, it was very innovative. It was
Mhm.
a fresh take on the martial arts genre, and I really dug it. And it introduced Jean Claude Van Damme to the world.
Uh-huh.
And what can I say, man? Like Bloodsport was that movie that all the movies he did, they always compare it to that. Like, is it like because every time you talk about a Van Damme movie, what's the first question people always ask? Is it as good as Bloodsport? Do you think it was better than
Yeah.
Bloodsport? So right now that's number one. All right. So with the success of Bloodsport, now comes the follow-up, the sophomore effort from Jean-Claude, which when I saw the trailer,
Uh-huh.
cinematic, I lost my shit. I like that trailer for Cyborg was
Oh,
so
dude.
hype. I was like, I said, Mom, can I have a couple of dollars so I can go see Cyborg? And I didn't make it to the cinema to see it, but I got it when it came on VHS.
Uh-huh.
But golly, okay, I appreciate the movie now, but
Yeah.
at the time, compared to how the trailer was, even as
Yeah.
a kid, I said this movie is trash. this movie sucked.
That one looks it looks dirty. Like
Yeah,
maybe because it's like a post-apocalyptic, but it
right.
has that like a dirty look.
Hmm.
It always has, at least to me. That's I think if Bloodsport is a cult movie, I think
Hmm.
Cyborg is even I think only like hardcore people know about that one. That's what I think.
Cyborg.
I think it's more like obscure. I believe. I don't know. Do you think, or do you think some
Um.
people know more about
Well,
that?
probably now that's the case, but at the
Mhm.
time he was such a big star from Bloodsport that everybody that loved that movie could not wait to see Cyborg. Like like that
Mm,
movie was kind of a big deal.
yeah.
But when the critics came out, I remember I watched the episode of Siskel and Ebert, and I remember Roger Ebert trashed the film. Roger Ebert said that Cyborg is like a poor man's Road Warrior without the cars.
He
That's what
said
that's
that.
what he said about it.
Dude, I can see that, but it has his special moments.
Mhm.
It has its own unique touch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, yeah. Now, like over the years, I've grown to appreciate the movie for what it was, and I
Hmm.
will say that as bad as the movie is, as far as like narrative wise, and how cheap the production looked, because I think
Hmm.
this is like one of the last canon productions before they
Mm.
went belly up. And then I even found out that this was actually supposed to be Masters of the Universe 2. So when Masters of the Universe flopped, they already had the second one ready to go. So they made up all the costumes and everything and all that stuff. So when they cut that movie, they said, we're not making this movie now. They took everything that they made for Masters 2 and put it to Cyborg. So that's why they all had those crazy ass costumes and shit.
Yeah.
And but the movie does have a charm to it that you quite can't explain. You know, I love watching Cyborg, and I will never defend this being a good movie, but there's just a charm about it where I like watching it. I don't know if it's Van Damme's star power and also your boy that plays Fender, who was a great fucking villain, man.
Dude, since I was a kid, you know, like I saw him, right? And he's like, he's wearing the glasses, the sunglasses. And then when he took them off and you see those eyes that are like white, dude, back then I was like, what?
Yeah. he had the David Banner like Hulk eyes, like dude.
Yeah, like right now, if you watch it right now, you're like, oh yeah, he's wearing, you know, like contact lens or whatever. But back then, dude, when you watch it, like if you keep a perspective, like back in the 80s, those things were on, you wouldn't buy those at Hot Topic, you know, like you wouldn't find those anywhere.
Right.
So as a kid, seeing those eyes, they were making he would look even freakish. And then the physique that he got, the Fender guy, he was a little pretty trim, but really ripped.
But he was ripped,
ripped, dude.
He was ripped. So I think in real life he was a surfer or something like that. So,
yep.
Yeah, he just had that leanness to him, and even the voice, you know, like that. The intro to the movie, I love the intro.
Just growing.
It's like I like the death, I like the misery, I like this world. I'm like, damn, that nigga sound dangerous. Oh man, and of course, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and that split, he does the split only one time, I believe, in that movie before he kills the guy with the knife.
Yeah,
that he's standing on like in two pillars, like on the ground, and he's like that, and then he goes and kills the guy.
Right.
Dude, that's a cool dude.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. You know who that actor was, right? The one that he killed.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but he was in Universal Soldier, and also I think he was in was it in Gladiator? Also,
he was in Gladiator, and also he was the bad guy in Best of the Best too.
Oh, I need to rewatch that one. Yes, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was an Ivan Drago ripoff. He was supposed to be like a big Russian monster, and I'm like, damn. After Ivan Drago, every bad guy had to be like this big Russian monster. You know what I'm saying?
That guy, he's always been big. I mean, since I remember him in those movies. And he was, like I said, he was in Universal Soldier. He was one of the soldiers too.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's the one eating the raw meat.
Eating the raw meat. Yep. Him and Debo. Yeah. So Cyborg had a charm to it. You know, the parts where it dragged, I was like, okay, let's pick this shit up. But the last act really saved the movie for me because, you know, the last act when the action kicked in and they have that fight in the thunderstorm where, dog, as over the top as that fight was, because when you watch it, right, Fender's screaming the whole time. And you're like, dude, why are you screaming so much? Like Van Damme's throwing punches, and Fender's like, dude, stop screaming.
Yeah.
Throw a punch, throw a kick or something, you know. And remember that shot where he had the two knives and he was coming at the camera. So there were times where he looked terrifying, but I'm like, brother, stop screaming so much. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it has. When you were talking about the different customs, I really like. I forgot Van Damme's name of the character, but I like the hair. I like what he was wearing, and those knives look like that. Like it was like a knife, like a curve, like a boomerang type of thing.
Yeah. He had like a daredevil kind of like stick that turned into a knife. Yeah,
something like. I mean, and there's I had it. I don't have it anymore, but I had that like a poster of he's doing like the bicep arm like that with the knife. He look cool, dude. He look pretty badass.
Yeah, but somebody said best Van. Yeah, I just mentioned that how Van Damme was in. He had a little 20-second scene in Breaking where he was dancing in a singlet, which was funny. But even at the time when Cyborg came out, I mean, people even criticized Van Damme's performance in the movie. They said that his performance was real wooden. He acted like he didn't want to be there, and then come to find out he didn't want to be there because, you know, when he was interviewed about it, he said he hated working on Cyborg. He didn't like working with the director. He said it didn't give him a chance to really show off, I guess, his so-called acting chops, as he said. But he said he was miserable on that set, and it shows on film that he looked like he checked out a lot of times. I don't know if you noticed that too. Like aside from the fight scenes where he's still Van Damme, but in his acting, his performance is like, okay, this dude, he don't want to be here, and critics noticed that shit. So luckily, Cyborg didn't tank his career because it was saved by the next movie we're going to talk about. Which is Kickboxer.
Yeah.
So we take it back now to fighting, to competition. All right. So we're getting away from the sci-fi stuff. We're getting away from canon, and we're now going to Kickboxer, where Van Damme has more control over the film as far as because I think he helped write the story. Do I have that right? I think he helped write the script.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I think he at least helmed the story. Like he either came up with the story or he helped write the script. But I know he choreographed the fight scenes. All the fights in that movie was choreographed by Van Damme. Yeah, so and he was in the best shape I think out of any movie he's ever been in Kickboxer. Like Van Damme was ripped in that movie.
Yeah,
in Kickboxer. Yeah. But this may be a hot take though, bro. I don't know because I know how much you love Kickboxer. Right? I've been wanting to have this conversation with you. I think that Kickboxer is probably Van Damme's most overrated movie.
Overrated.
I think it's overrated.
Well, I remember. I like the movie. Like I like it a lot, and I have seen it even now as a grown up. But watching it like again, like when I watch it nowadays, like the final fight, like all of a sudden, just like that, all of a sudden, Tong Po starts fighting really, really stupid. Like I can see that. That's one of the negatives I would say. Like as a kid, I didn't notice it, but like all of a sudden, Tong Po forgets how to fight.
Exactly.
Between rounds, it happens between rounds, kind of.
Well, here's the thing. Also, when you really think about it, in that last fight, Kurt could have beat Tong Po anytime. Like the way they set it up is that Kurt could have beat him anytime he wanted to, but he had to hold back. He had to let him. Yeah, because remember that your boy stepped to him and he was like, "Yeah, let Tong Po punish you every round. You must last until the end, or brother die very slowly. You understand? Huh?
And then he's like,
yeah, he slapped him. Yeah. So basically, he threw the fight, but at any time he could have beat him. And as an audience, I'm disappointed because they set Tong Po to be this unbeatable creature that's kicking pillars down with his fucking leg.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He paralyzed his brother effortlessly, and the brother is a real life kickboxing champion. All right, so this dude is invincible. And then, so the whole movie, Van Damme's training with this old man, which was some cool training sequences. Okay, so now here we come to the big moment where we're in this temple-like thing with the mat and the fire, and they dip their hands in glass. I'm like, this is about to be epic, and it wasn't even a competition. Van Damme could have beat him easily. You know what I mean? But he had to throw the fight until your boy came in. Nutsu cow. I hated that, bro. I hated that.
And the plaster was falling down.
Dude. Yeah, the plaster was falling down.
Dude, that scene also as a kid, he's like Tom Poland. Boom.
Yeah.
Like he's walking in the hallway, right? And he hears this sound. And watching it for the first time, as a kid, and then I see Tom Poland like, boom.
Right.
And then the plaster falling down.
Yeah.
Dude, that scene always been on my mind always since I was a kid. And I don't know if I told you, but I bought that T-shirt. I did a YouTube short where it says, "And the plaster was falling down." And this is a cartoon of Tong Po seen from the back, killing that pillar. And it's from the same guys that I sent you the DM for the Crystal Cat on Etsy.
Oh yeah,
those are the same guys. Like you're gonna find it there.
Nice. Yeah. But dog, was that not the best one of the best introductions to a villain? Like even when I watched that, I said, "Yo, who is this dude?" And then when he turned around, right? Didn't say when he turned around, he looked at Van Damme. He just said,
and then he starts, He starts
Yeah.
kicking, and then
Yep.
with the elbow.
Yep. Caught with the elbow.
Hey,
Man,
where were you, Kurt? You can. Do they have ice in his dump? Or
yeah.
what?
He said, I'm telling you, this guy's crazy. He's fucking crazy. He's
What?
like, so
Can he
what?
move like
Can
me?
he move like me? No, we got him. I said,
Dude,
get the fuck out of here.
I didn't know this until years later.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Alexio, that's the name of the fighter
Yeah,
of
dyslexia. Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
his his voice was dubbed. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I just found that out too. Yeah. Did you ever see the footage where they actually used his voice?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'll send you the clip, man. It's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
They actually have the footage where they actually had his real voice, and I see why they dubbed it, because he has like a Chris Tucker type voice for real. Yeah. He does. He has like a squeaky Chris Tucker. It doesn't fit his. He like you know how Mike Tyson, look at Tyson and hear Tyson talking like the shit don't match.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm not saying I dislike Kickboxer. I think Kickboxer is one of Van Damme's most standout movies. But I just thought that they dropped the ball at the end to give us an epic martial arts film. If that fight would have been really competitive, where it'd have been like a fight to the death, you know what I mean, between these two, you know what I mean? I feel like they really dropped the ball on that. So
because the soundtrack is legit. I think those scenes shot in location in Thailand, that's pretty cool too. I like stuff like that. But I would say that the final fight.
The final fight was very lackluster. Very lackluster. Yeah. I mean, even standout scenes like the drunk scene when he was at the bar drunk and fighting, like all that stuff was great, man. And then they fucked it up with that. But still, Kickboxer was a return to form. Okay, it made people forget about Cyborg. All right, so now, okay, where does Van Damme go from here? So the next film I believe he did was Death Warrant. I think Death Warrant was the follow-up to Kickboxer, which came out in 1990. That dropped in, I believe, September of 1990. All right, so Death Warrant, once again, the way the trailer made it look like it was going to be blood sport, but in jail. So I thought it was going to be like some kind of like jail competition type fighting and shit like that. But nah, he's a detective looking for this somebody who's killing people in prison, taking their body parts. And the guy that he kills in the beginning ends up being the leader in the jail. And I don't know if he was a mutant or was he just a superhuman man, or what the fuck was he, man?
They never explain how he survived those shots.
Yeah.
Because he shot him like a year and a half earlier.
Right.
And then I don't know.
Yeah, the Sandman, yeah, dog. Not only did and I was drinking last night when I was watching this, right? I did a rewatch for this, and dog, the part where I laughed was when they had the final fight at the end, right? And he kicked Sandman into the fire, and then he walks away like, okay, I'll beat him, and then you hear Burk, and he comes out, he's all on fire and shit, and he wipes himself off, and it's like, you can't kill me, I'm the Sandman. I'm like, what are we doing? What am I watching?
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, like you said, does he have superpowers? Does he wear something? We never know. We don't know that.
I mean, dog, he even kicked him where his head went into the damn, and he's still like
talking.
You can't kill me, Burke. The Sandman. he just came and just pushed his head up in it. Just like, oh.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's one of my least favorite movies, I would say. That one, that Death Warrant. Even though I watched it as a kid, and I always remember that cholo, the esse.
Oh yeah.
When they fight in the laundromat.
In the laundry room, yep.
Yeah, always. That scene has always. That's one of the most memorable of that movie. That scene, and he's not even the main guy. He's just one of those.
Well, and then remember they had the one little Asian dude that was like in every action movie in the 80s and 90s. The guy with the long hair.
He's in Die Hard too. He's the guy who gets a chocolate from the Nakatomi Tower. Yeah, every single 80s movie. He's one of the bad guys.
He's one of the bad. Yeah, Die Hard. I remember he was in Big Trouble in Little China. He fought Brandon Lee in Rapid Fire. I remember that. So that guy was everywhere. But I say probably the best thing about Death Warrant was Robert Gilliam. Rest in peace. I thought he was for what the script was. I think that he really tried to give at least some kind of performance in the movie. You know what I'm saying? You know Robert Gilliam, right? The black dude with the one eye. He was the
Oh,
blonde.
that
He was
was
the
his
blonde
name.
guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't know his name, but was he in, Blood Out? He was in Blood Out, right?
No. Robert Gilliam. I don't know if you watch sitcoms in the '80s, but he was Benson. Okay. Lean on Me. Morgan Freeman.
Is that a movie? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Lean on Me, when Morgan Freeman played the principal and he had to get the school together because the school was all fucked up.
No, I haven't seen it, but when I was rewatching it, I feel like I've seen him somewhere else, but I don't know
Yeah, he's been in
where.
a lot of stuff. Yeah, he's been in a lot. Oh, he played. Well, he was the voice of Rafiki in The Lion King, also.
Oh, he was. I didn't know
Yeah,
that part.
yeah,
Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah, Robert Gilliam. Yeah, he passed away a few years ago, but I thought he was the best part of the movie, and I did a little research about Death Warrant, and I didn't know that was also one of Cannon's last productions.
Oh,
And yeah,
just like
and David Goyer wrote the script.
Yeah, I noticed that. I revisited 2 days ago, and he wrote the Blade movies, right? All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was like 23. That was the first script he ever like sold to Hollywood, and it was for that movie. So yeah, it was originally a Cannon production, and then when Cannon went belly up, MGM bought all the, I guess, whatever they didn't finish, they brought him over there. So technically, Death Warrant is a Cannon film, technically speaking. So the lukewarm movie. Okay, we both can agree Death Warrant wasn't all that, but now. Okay, what's next for Van Damme? He goes back to his competitive roots. You notice the pattern here? You got a competitive competition type movie. Then he goes outside the box, does sci-fi. Then he goes back to competition. Then goes outside the box, does a prison movie. Then he goes back to competition again with Lionheart.
That's one of the better ones, dude.
This dude's gonna kill your ass. Don't you know that?
That's a really good one.
Yeah, so Lionheart dropped 4 months after Death Warrant, because Death Warrant dropped in I think September, October, and Lionheart dropped January of '91. But I think it came out overseas earlier though, because before I think it was called Full Contact, and then when they brought it to the States, that's when they called it Lionheart.
Lionheart has around 4 or 5 different titles depending on each different parts of the world. It's called Lionheart. A wall. Full contact. Wrong bet.
Okay.
And I think there's at least one more, I think, but just right there is 4 of them.
There's 4. Okay.
Yeah. Wrong bet, because I have the poster right here and it says wrong bet. I think that one. I think in Germany, it's either wrong bet or full contact. One of the two.
Full contact. Okay.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, for me, I think besides Bloodsport, I think this is my favorite Van Damme movie. I love Lionheart. Like like the movie has so much heart to it, and even though it's a simple story, like the typical thing, like my brother dies, but he's not avenging his brother, but he's taking care of his sister-in-law, his brother's wife, and little girl, and he has to fight to make money to take care of them. But it's like this underground fighting ring where you have all these different colorful characters of fighters and shit. You got one guy from Scotland, and then you had the fight when they was in the pool and shit, and then the main event, your boy Attila. Who I thought was scary at the time, and like he looked like a Samoan Andre the Giant
with a little cat.
With the little cat, yeah.
That's Tong Po's brother.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Are they Samoan, right?
No, no, they are. They speak. I know that at least Tong Po. I'm assuming his brother too. They have Arab descent or something.
Okay.
Yeah, because Tong Po's real name is Mohammed Kisi.
Michael Kisi, okay. Right.
But sometimes he switches to Michael Kisi, but it's Mohammed is his real name.
Kisi, okay.
And I know all of this because the Viking samurai that I was telling you, he also interviewed Michael Kisi's in different interviews. So that's why I know. But yeah, check out those interviews, dude. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff. Yeah,
like what
he tells his experience with Van Damme moving to the States, living in Belgium, working in Predator, working in movies like Kickboxer, and then in Bloodsport, because he's also in Bloodsport. Michael Kisi.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the guy that got the bone popped out of his leg. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Yep.
tells all these stories, uh, like what happened behind scenes, like from a different perspective,
Gotcha.
because there's a lot of of hearsay about Predator. If he got fired, he wasn't fired, why he
Mm-hmm.
left, stuff like that. So he goes into details. But anyway,
Right. Oh, well, we have to make honorable mention too. I forgot to mention another movie that Van Damme was in that nobody talks about. It was between Bloodsport and Cyborg, and that's Black Eagle with
oh, dude,
Sho
yes,
Kosugi. Yeah, with Sho
yes,
Kosugi. Yep.
dude, that one I try to rewatch it.
It's a bad
It,
movie. It's terrible.
yeah, and by
It's
recent,
terrible.
I'm talking like several years ago because I
Yeah.
bought the poster, like the big one, like the
Mm-hmm.
movie theater size. I have it somewhere because it arrived a little damaged.
Right.
Uh, but I try to watch it again, and dude,
It's
no,
bad.
it's hard to follow too.
Yeah.
And the reason why I liked it back as a kid, it was just because Van Damme. I didn't care about
Sho
Kasugi guy.
Kosugi,
No,
yeah.
Kasugi
Well,
guy.
Sho Kosugi was actually kind of large in the 80s, man. He had
Mhm.
Ninja 2 and then Pray for Death. And I think Sho Kosugi's kind of underrated for the time because, he made some dope ass movies, but he's never
Uh-huh.
talked about. But Black Eagle, I thought was definitely false advertising. That you could tell they try to capitalize off the success of Bloodsport and put Van Damme on the cover of the box art. Because I went to the video store to go rent something, and I saw it. I was like, oh shit, Van Damme got another movie? Because he's on the cover, doing his shit.
Yeah.
And I think he's only in 2 scenes. Him and Sho Kosugi have 2 fight scenes together. And the second fight scene, he gets killed.
He is in that scene doing the splits and throwing knives.
Right.
Dude, that's a killer scene.
Yeah. Oh, dog. Like that goes to show the star power because the little time that you did see him, he stole the seed. Yeah.
And then doing the splits and hitting the target.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. And then, dude, did you notice how the hero, he couldn't kill him? The boat, like he wasn't skilled enough to kill him in the fight.
Right.
So he gets
He got
killed
killed by a boat. Yeah.
by the boat. I was like,
Right.
I don't know, but it just got my attention how he didn't die in a fight, like he was killed off as an accident, so to speak.
Well, I think they probably shot that movie before Bloodsport came out, and then when Bloodsport did come out, they said, okay, let's go ahead and put this movie out so we can make money off of his name. Like that. That's common in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when you see the follow-up movie from an actor that blows up, it's usually something that was shot before that one. And they say, okay, well, hurry up and put that out. Kind of like with Michael J. Fox when he did Back to the Future, and Back to the Future blew up. And then they dropped Teen Wolf after that. But people don't know that Teen Wolf was actually shot way before Back to the Future.
Oh, I didn't know that part. Yeah.
Teen Wolf was shot way before Back to the Future. So when Back to the Future made all that money, they said, okay, hurry up, put it out. And I think in some countries they called it Back to the Future 2, even though it was Teen Wolf. But back to Lionheart. I really enjoyed the movie. To me, the standout was the black sidekick, who, yes, he does have some stereotypes, but damn it, that they're real stereotypes because I know people like that. I swear to God, I know somebody exactly like that guy.
Dude, remember when he's eating the burgers?
Yeah.
And then the guy's gonna give him the ticket. He's like,
yeah. Yeah. Man, don't look at the motherfucker, man. Eat it. Shit, it ain't gonna bother you. I swear, I know somebody like that, man. Just fast talking, always cursing and talking shit. But and it's funny, I haven't seen that guy in anything else because not only was he funny in the movie, bro, but I got choked up at the end. Like after Van Damme has that last fight and he's walking out, and your boy's like, don't lose your heart, Lionheart, because once you lose, you ain't gonna get that back. Take it from me, man. I've been there. And I'm like, oh, getting choked up.
When you said earlier that movie has heart, it does. It does.
Yeah.
The story is great, and what's his name?
What else, cute?
The writer, because the Viking Samurai, he also interviewed this guy, the writer and director of Lionheart, Sheldon
Leadich or some shit like that.
Yes. Yeah. And he wrote that. He wrote also Only the Stronger.
Only the Strong. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, nah,
But
that movie, it had a lot of heart, man. But he did. I could tell whoever wrote that movie saw Bustin' Loose, because if you ever seen Bustin' Loose with Richard Pryor, he bit off of the end of that movie almost verbatim, where they were getting ready to take him away,
and
then he stopped the car and he says, "Get out, go back to your family." That's right from Bustin' Loose, goddammit, where Richard Pryor was getting ready to get taken away. Yeah, he's like, "Get out, go on back home." Yeah. So, I mean, everybody bites off everybody, right? I'm not gonna hold it against it. I love Lionheart. That was my shit.
It's a montage. What is that called? Like the outfit montage when he's like trying different.
Oh yeah, we trying all the suits on. Yeah.
With that girl, and the girl is paying for it.
Oh, and of course, I think it's in his contract. Every Van Damme movie, you got to show his ass at least once.
Oh yeah.
Every movie, man. It's like he's always, you know what I'm saying, standing there posing. Yeah, pulling his drawers up and shit. Like, man, nobody will see your ass.
Kickboxer doing those helicopter kicks.
Right.
At the final fight.
Yeah, like this nigga always gotta show his ass, man. But so Lionheart, I think made a lot of money. It did pretty good. So now Van Damme stars rising. So now we go to the next movie, which now he gets a summer movie. I think this is like his first summer joint, which dropped in '91, which is Double Impact. Where he plays two roles, Chad and Alex.
Feel the impact, yes.
Yeah. The Smoke and Stack before Smoke and Stack. You had Chad and Alex. All right.
And Bolo Young. Bolo Young is
Bolo Young.
He kills the parents, and then he's like, he looks the same like 25 years later.
20 years later, he's like a vampire. He never ages. Yeah.
Still, he looks pretty good right now as he's 70-something years old.
Oh, Bolo will still fuck you up. Yeah, but Bolo still can make his chest jump, and Bolo will still break your ass in half.
Yes, at 70-something.
like he. Scary. Yeah. So Double Impact was summer of '91, so that was the same summer as Terminator 2, Boys in the Hood. I think Jungle Fever came out that summer. Kevin Costner, Robin Hood. So now Van Damme's blowing up because he got a summer movie now. And I don't know if the movie did good box office wise, but to me, I was looking forward to that just as much as Terminator 2, because that's how much of a Van Damme fan I was. And the movie did not disappoint. I watched that. I watched Double Impact several times. All right, but I gotta ask you, who's your favorite twin, Chad or Alex? Who would you fuck with more?
Oh man, they're very different characters, and I think both were played really well because they were played different. And I'm gonna tell a quick story before I answer your question. When Viking Samurai interviewed Sheldon Lettish about that movie, because that's a movie also by Sheldon Lettish. He said that one time Sheldon, the director, he went to this place. I don't know what it was, a store, a gym, or something, and somebody that he knew met him and saw him, and he asked him. He's like, I didn't know that Van Damme had a twin brother. Like, the guy really thought there were two Van Dammes.
There was two of them? Oh, wow.
And he's like, no, there's only one guy. Anyway, it just says in the interview, he says like how well he played both guys, both brothers. I like Chad because he's the one who kicks and all the fancy kicks, and Alex is more of a brawler, like one with guns or whatever, like one who grew up in the streets of Hong Kong.
Right.
I wanna say Chad, but
okay.
Because he's more of a Beverly Hills guy. He's Beverly Hills guy wearing silk underwear.
Silk underwear, yeah. You thought I would never wear black silk underwear. It was gonna look at them, a faggot. I'm like, ooh, you can't say that nowadays. I think he called him that twice in the movie too. Remember when they had that fight and he was drunk and your boy was trying to break it up, like, man, y'all brothers ain't supposed to be fighting. And he's don't tell me what I need. You're drunk. Maybe drunk. Tomorrow I'll be sober, but you'll always be a faggot.
Because he was drinking and he was imagining his brother having sex with
a girl.
Yeah.
I saw an interview with Van Damme long ago where he talked about how he approached playing both characters, and he said that Chad is more like the real Van Damme, like how he really is in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his real personality. And he says Alex is more of the characters that he plays in his movies. And when you watch his movies, you can see that, you know, because he always talks with the real raspy voice like this and doesn't say much, but they like always look serious. You know, that's how he played Alex. And Chad's more like, you know, likable and kind of upbeat. You know what I mean?
Teaching yoga classes or whatever. Remember?
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah,
girls.
so yeah, because of my big legs and karate, I can do the splits, no problem.
Back and forth. He says
Back and forth. Man, can you imagine how much ass he was getting back? Man, I know Van Damme was getting all kind of booty back there, man. You come on, dog.
Dude, and in that interview, Michael Kesey, he says that a producer wanted something sexual
Yeah.
things to get him to make some movies. Like he was getting like some producers wanted some other stuff.
Oh my god, some like one of them casting couch type of situations.
Probably.
Oh,
and also he was before he was doing these movies, he was a bouncer. He was delivering food or pizza or something, and he was a masseuse also.
Oh, Van Damme was?
Yeah. So sometimes guys wanted some special favors for them.
Wow. Look, you know, so sometimes you say, why wasn't I born rich instead of handsome, right? Jesus. but yeah, Double Impact was also a success. And at this point, man, this brother could do no wrong. Like everything he touches turns to gold. He has a fan base now. He's got a hit summer movie. You know, okay, where do we go from here? All right, so now we have the following summer, and I think an even bigger movie with Universal Soldier. And the hype for that movie was real because, you know, now you have Van Damme who's like, oh, you got it back? Yeah, hell yeah. So you got Van Damme who's a bona fide star, and then you got Dolph Lundgren who is a B action movie star in his own right. Which one is that? Hell yeah. Yes, sir.
So two of my most precious.
You got Dolph too? Oh shit.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
That's tight, man. Like even the detail in the face, that looks just like them.
Mm-hmm. And they're close to the scale. Like obviously, Dolph is a little taller as in real life. Yeah,
Dolph is like 6'4". Van Damme is like 5'8", I think. Yeah. Is that Matrix behind you also? John Matrix?
Which one?
Commando, right there behind you.
Oh yeah, that's Commando. Rambo, yeah. Rambo 3. That's Van Damme also from Expendables.
Okay,
and
don't challenge me.
From Expendables, yeah.
Okay.
I got here Van Damme, but this is a different. This is just Van Damme as a fictional character, and Dolph Lundgren over there also as a fictional character.
Okay, nice. But yeah, dog. I don't know. I think we're the same age bracket, but that's from No Retreat, No Surrender, right?
Yeah.
I think we're in the same age bracket, bro. So I don't know if you remember the hype around Universal Soldier, like the build-up, you know, where even in the press conference they had like a face-off where they were like acting like they were gonna fight. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it. I've seen it on YouTube. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. In Cannes, I think, in the Festival of Cannes. Yeah.
Yeah, so they try to hype it up like they really hated each other, even because this is before the internet. So in the like little news outlets, it was like, yeah, Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren really don't like each other, and they were fighting on the set. And then when they had the little face off, and they were pushing each other and shit, it was perfect because it sold the movie. Because I couldn't wait to see it. I'm like, who's gonna win? You know, Frank Dukes or Ivan Drago? You know what I mean? And I think and Universal Soldier this time, unlike Kickboxer, where they took a stupid way out, but the fight lived up to the hype that the movie presented. I love the fight between them two, and I was even surprised by how well Dolph Lundgren acted in that movie.
Yes,
I didn't know he had that in him, bro.
in the supermarket, remember the supermarket?
Right,
that's the scene that what I think he delivers a little bit of a speech at the supermarket.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, well, you sit there kissing ass, and we're busting ass, and we're breaking heads. You fucking traitors.
I'm all ears.
Yeah, I'm all ears, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. And I remember, I never forget, I saw that with my father at the movies. And I remember my father laughed where they were having the fight, right? And then Van Damme was doing all the slow motion kicks, like, he's just catching him and kicking him. And then he falls to the ground, right? And he's like, that's the spirit soldier.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He says that.
Yeah, like this shit didn't even phase him, right? And he's like, you need to learn the proper commands. When I say jump, wow. You say how high, got it?
Bro, but he was cheating because he had the serum, remember?
Right,
He
yeah,
was
the
cheating
super
because of
soldier
the serum.
serum, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's a good movie, dude. Dude, I'm getting into tattoos now, but
Okay.
at some point I want to do it by levels.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually I would love a portrait of Drago, oh not Drago, Dolph Lundgren and Van Damme as Universal Soldiers. That's what I would
Okay.
like a real
Yeah.
a realism. I think it's called realism.
Oh, okay. That'll be
I would,
dope.
dude. I would like that, dude. But
Mm-hmm.
that's how much I dig the movie. You
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I love Universe. Yeah, I saw that at the cinema, rented it plenty of times, and once again, Van Damme had to show his ass in the movie. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He had
Oh
to
yeah.
show
He bends over right with the
he
girl.
bends over, spready.
Look,
Yeah. So
looking
is
for that.
everything. It's in the it's gotta be in the contract. Okay, for me to be in this movie, I got to show my ass at least one time. And he does, but yeah, that definitely lived up to the hype, man. I love Universal Soldier. That was what Roland Emmerich, I think, directed that one.
Yeah.
I think that was one of Roland Emmerich's first movies, you know. So yeah, another big hit, man. Like, what are your thoughts about? We said you loved it too, right? That was one of your favorites.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites
Mm,
because I think that they complement each other really well. You
right.
know, like the good chemistry between the both of them. I think the same
Mm,
chemistry that Longner had with Stallone. I think he had it with Van Damme.
right.
And yeah, like you said, uh, that's one of the movies where I've seen a little bit more range of Longren, like
Dolph, yeah.
talking a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Memorable scenes. The I just wanna eat part, you know,
Yeah,
when
I just
he's
want to
eating
eat.
at the
Yeah, yeah.
restaurant, stuff
That
like
was
that.
dope.
When he's bending over for that tracking thing.
Mm-hmm. Feel for something hard.
Hard. Should it be
Wow.
there? Should it be there? Should that
Yeah,
come
that's supposed to be there. Oh man. And remember the needle through the eye? Remember you took the one doctor guy and he put him, remember
Oh,
they had the needles come up and he stuck that and the needle went right through the
yeah.
eye. I'm like, oh shit.
What was that? The black scientist, or was it
Yeah,
the other one?
the black scientist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, dude,
Yep.
that was messed up. Oh, dude,
That was
I always
dope.
remember this with another memorable scene, and every single time I see a dam,
Mm-hmm.
I always think about
Oh, when they was running
Universal Soldier
down.
when they're running
Right.
down.
Yeah.
Always. Since I was a
Always.
kid, it always stands in my mind. I don't know why. I think about
Yeah,
Universal
yeah.
Soldier every time I see a dam.
And you know what the cherry was on top of that movie for me was this is back in a time where the end credit songs used to be fire. So when Universal Soldier went off, and you remember Ice-T had a heavy metal band called Body Count back in the day.
I don't remember that part now.
Yeah, Ice-T had a metal band called Body Count. So yeah, when the credits start rolling, and Ice-T Body Count, body count.
Oh,
Body
that's
body
him?
count. Yeah,
Because I remember the
Ice-T.
song. I remember the
Yeah.
song, but okay. I didn't know that part. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He had a couple of songs with that band, but for whatever reason they broke up. Because he even had a song called Cop Killer, and I think that's when they really came down to him. Like, all right, bro, you have to cut this shit out. Yeah, he had a song about killing cops, but yeah, he had a metal band called Body Count, and that was the end song in the credits. You know what I mean? Yeah. So another hit, you know, 92 was the summer of what came out that summer? Batman Returns, Boomerang, Mo Money, League of Their Own, Universal Soldiers. That was one of the big ones of summer of 92. That was fire. So now, okay, Van Damme, now you're your big star. You got 2 summer hits under your belt. What's next? Okay, well, I want to do something more dramatic. I want to show my dramatic range. And this one, I ain't got much to say about this movie, yo. So you can take the floor if you want. I think Nowhere to Run was the follow-up to Universal Soldier, and I can't tell you shit about this movie except for that Macaulay Culkin's little brother is in here, and one of the Arquette sisters is in here. And for what you told me, Van Damme clapped them cheeks, and that's the only thing I know about this movie.
Yeah, as I was telling you, I haven't shown my son Jean Claude that movie yet. I'm gonna show because I already show him the ones I like the most:
Right.
Bloodsport, Kickboxer, even No Retreat, No Surrender, Universal
Mm-hmm.
Soldier, Double Team.
Right.
I mean, the Double Impact.
Double Impact. Yeah.
Double Team I haven't yet. Anyway,
Double
Hard
Team.
Target.
That's why I stopped at Hard Target, so we ain't got to talk about Double Team and the shit that he did later on. You know what I mean?
That one in that movie, Nowhere to Run. I don't know if you remember or noticed, but that's the only movie that he doesn't kick at all.
I read that.
Yeah,
I went to
no kicks.
IMDb and I read they say he used no kicking in that movie.
Yeah, there's like he's just like a normal dude. He who punches a little bit, but he's it's like his character doesn't know martial arts for whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason.
Right.
Having said, maybe that's why as a kid I like it a little less, perhaps. I don't know, because I was always like,
Right.
oh, the kicks, the splits, and the
Mm-hmm.
helicopter slow motion type of kicks.
Right.
Um, yeah, that movie. It has some moments that I remember, like for instance when uh, he's taking a bath in the river, and uh, uh, Macaulay Culkin's brother sees him, and
Mm-hmm.
then uh, they go back at his mom's house and they're having dinner or something, and they're talking, and then he says something like, "Oh, mom, he has a big penis," and then the mom
Oh,
is like,
Jesus. Pause.
and then and then and then the mom is like, "No, it's just average," and he looks like Van Damme is like, things like that I remember
Wow.
watching. What's
Oh,
another
so he showed his ass in this one too, huh?
I think so, because that's the part that I was telling you that I wanted to fast forward eventually.
Yeah.
I haven't shown my son the movie yet, but I
Right.
wanted to watch it again just to remember exactly when to fast forward a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Because I think she gets in the shower, and this is before Van Damme meets her, and he's kind
Mm-hmm.
of trying to get in the house to get salt. He's looking for some salt because he's cooking and he needs salt, and then he kind of sees her taking a shower by the window, so they
Right.
show her like a top. But then after that, then they meet, and then they knock boots later, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's when he finally clapped them cheeks. Yeah. So another movie. So I think Van Damme is on an 8 movie streak where he shows his ass. All right.
And I heard that she had a problem with him. Like I don't think she liked him very much, like in
Yeah, I
real
read
life.
that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
something
read
like
that.
that. There was some
Yeah.
drama behind.
Well, because I think around this time the ego's kind of inflated. This is around the time I think he started smelling his own shit,
Mm.
and that's when he got that big ass knot on his head because from where the legend of the street is at, he was out somewhere and he was in a fight and some dude roughed him up, and that's how he got that big ass speed knot on his head. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know how true that is.
well, he said no. He was born with that thing,
Oh, okay.
and that thing, it has a name. He said it is a medical term that I don't know,
Mm,
but he said like he could get it removed like with a surgery, but it would leave
right.
a scar, and that's why he never touched
Oh, he
it.
never did. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So he didn't get beat up.
no.
Wow. See that? See how people be starting shit? Yeah, people's like, nah, man, Van Damme was at a nightclub and he was drunk and somebody whooped his ass, and that's how he got that big ass speed knot.
Same thing with that fight that apparently happened between him and
Seagal?
no Seagal. It's another guy who is a bodyguard, and it happened
Mm.
at Stallone's house. He was having a party. Cito, Cito.
I think okay, I think I know the story you're talking about. Yeah, because something did go down at Sly's house.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Cito. It's an Italian last name, but I forgot the name
Mm-hmm.
of the guy. But the guy was like a bodyguard, but he was also a little bit into movies.
Right.
Uh, I don't know, but if you guys Google it, you find it. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
but it apparently happened at the Sylvester Stallone's party at his house or something.
Well, you know what, and I've said this before, bro, and I gotta say it again. I owe Van Damme an apology because, as kids, you're on the playground, you always have that debate: who's better than who can beat who, in real life or whatever. So Van Damme was king to a lot of us kids because of the kicks and everything. But then here comes Steven Seagal, who's supposed to be so-called legit. Okay, nah, see, the stuff Van Damme does is fake, but Steven Seagal's a real fighter because he was in the CIA. He protected the president, He knows Aikido, and he be breaking bones. Like, yeah, so what Van Damme does is for flash, what Steven Seagal does is for real. So the word back then, especially in the hood, was that in a real fight, Steven Seagal would dog walk Jean Claude Van Damme. And then even when he went to Arsenio, I don't know if you ever saw that episode of Arsenio Hall when he had a show, and Arsenio asked about Van Damme, to Seagal, and Seagal was like, he's like, who? He's like,
Yeah,
well, you know what? I don't think he's a champion. I don't think he's ever competed. The guy, like, he pretty much tried to downplay the fact that he was a martial artist. Like, this guy's not for real.
Can I laugh in your face?
Yeah, can I laugh in your face? So, but now, fast forward years later, more and more stuff's coming out that Seagal is a fraud, and Van Damme was really a legit fighter. You've heard that from Michael Jai White said that Van Damme is legit. Chuck Norris, the man himself, even said that Van Damme is legit. You know what I'm saying? So there's multiple martial artists that says that Van Damme actually would walk the dog on Steven Seagal.
Something. The thing is, like, when Van Damme was competing, he was competing in France. I mean, Belgium, but he was competing under his real name.
Yeah,
that's why there is no records under Jean Claude Van Damme, because that's not his real name.
Was it Van Vernberg or something like that?
Yeah, Jean Claude Camille Van Barenberg. He's like, I don't know what has like a 3-name thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a record. I forgot if it's 18-1 or 17-1, something like that. Chuck Zito is the name of the other guy that I was telling you about.
Chuck Zito. Okay, I know that name. Yeah, I know that name. Yeah.
It just came to mind.
Yeah, but so come to find out, Steven Seagal, I mean, I'm pretty sure like Seagal could whoop the average dude, but against other martial artists, like especially when he tried to downplay Michael Jai White, I said, dog, Michael Jai White will fuck you up, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, these guys are Hollywood actors and can I laugh in your face? Dude, Michael Jai White will kill this guy, man. But yeah. So Van Damme, if you ever watch this, man, I'm sorry, bro. All the kids in the neighborhood, we apologize because we thought that you were a fake and that Seagal would destroy you. But no, we know the truth now is that you would dog walk Steven Seagal. So I'm sorry. All right. Now down to the last movie, the last of the Mohicans. The reason why I stopped at this one is because this is when the beginning of the end for me, when I started losing interest in Van Damme movies. And I don't know if it's because I'm now becoming a teenager and these movies don't appeal to me anymore. I'm getting older now. I started watching them when I was 9. Now I'm 14. I'm not into this shit like I used to be. So when I went and saw A Hard Target in the summer of '93, I didn't have that same feeling that I had watching other Van Damme movies. And I'm like, is it me or is the movie not that good? So I lost interest after that because his biggest moneymaker was Time Cop. But
yes, another good one. Yeah.
I really don't remember Time Cop because I had no interest really. I mean, I watched it, but at that time I was not a Van Damme fan anymore. But it started with this movie with Hard Target, and I rewatched this last night. I had some drink in me, bro, and I swear. As I'm watching it, right, the overuse, the abundance of slow motion was so annoying. Dope poster. And you got the Universal Soldier poster. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The abundance of slow motion in this movie. And John Woo, I love John Woo. God bless him. But John Woo, I think he tried so hard to make Van Damme look like a badass, like cowboy or something. Because every time they show Van Damme, he's like walking real slow, got the mullet blowing back. And so I had this little voice in my head, like a little voiceover saying, the name's Chance. And he's a man of few words, but a man of plenty of action.
Yeah. That's how I named my second son, Chance.
Chance, okay, nice.
Because of that movie.
Because of that movie, yeah. Every time I saw him, like, the name's Chance.
Because my mama took
one. Of few words. Yeah.
What kind of name is Chance? My mama took one.
Yeah, my mama took one. and wait a minute, and this is supposed to be in New Orleans, right? It's supposed to be in New Orleans. He's supposed to be a New Orleans native, but he has a French accent.
Yeah. Oh, is he supposed to be like a Cajun or something like that?
He's supposed to be a Cajun,
something like that, right? Something like that. Yeah.
He's supposed to be Gambit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, but hold
on,
huh?
Oh yeah. I saw it. Blacktastic sent me. Yeah, Blacktastic sent me that that video, the double
Oh,
dubstep.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm stupid. Yeah, Cajuns do have French accents, right?
Yeah, some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why Uncle Duval,
Oh shit.
Uncle Duval is like the
So
French guy
okay.
at the end. He speaks a little bit of French. The uncle, remember his uncle?
Okay, I'm stupid. I'm thinking, yeah, I remember the uncle, yeah, the Quaker Oats guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he used to do Quaker Oats commercials back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel stupid now. Yeah, I'm sitting there talking about he's supposed to be from New Orleans with a French accent, and I forgot Cajuns do speak French. So, anyways, yeah,
that,
very, very stylized, very like a lot of slow motion, a lot of Western
close
type. I
up, a
don't know.
lot of
I feel
close-ups.
like a
Because
lot of
that's how
close ups. You know what I
that's
mean?
how they introduce Chance. The first time we see Chance is from his back.
Yeah,
You see that
yeah,
beautiful looking mullet,
right, right.
and
Yeah,
then
I'm
the
like,
camera pans. The camera pans to his ear. It has like a little like a ear loop right here, and then his eyes like kind of greenish,
right,
no homo,
right,
and then his mouth. Do you
hmm
remember those parts? How they introduce
right,
him?
right. How they introduced him? Yeah,
And then the waitress or the he's like, how's the what's the name of that food?
Gumbo, I think.
How's the gumbo, Chance? And he's like, a tragedy or something. He said.
I don't know.
That's
You
it.
think? I don't know. You think they did too much with the? I don't know. I just thought that they tried too hard to make him cool. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't
It's
you
like it's
think?
like it's like you could feel his ego watching this, like watching Hard Target. You just feel the ego of Van Damme is in full form here.
Well, he says in the interview he brought he's the one who brought John Woo from
Okay, yeah, I
China.
heard. Yeah, I
He
read
was
that. Yeah.
the first. So he in one interview or on one of his reality TV, he says, "I'm the one responsible for John Woo being here in the States."
Yeah, I
Because
guess.
by that time that you said he had a little bit more of like star power, so
Hmm.
he was doing a little bit more of that stuff. Um, yeah, that movie has a lot of memorable moments, like the one I was telling you with the close-ups, the
Hmm.
fight that he has outside of that restaurant with those guys,
That was all slow motion. Like every
no
single
motion.
kick and punch he threw, it was doom 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 doom
Mm.
doom 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 doom. Yeah. I'm like, dude, just show it regular. Shit.
and then, oh, dude, the one with the snake, with the rattlesnake.
Man, I thought I laughed my ass off when he had this. He had that fake ass snake. He says, "Ah, "Is it dead? Not hardly."
No, sorry. And then he buys the tail,
The rattle,
right?
yeah, the rattle off,
The
yeah,
rattle
yeah.
out of it, dude.
Oh man,
He said like he said that he wasn't sure about doing that part because it was a little ridiculous, but I love that part.
it's so bad it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I go with it. And I gotta say, Lance Henriksen I thought was really good in the movie as the
Oh,
villain.
yeah.
And the guy that played the mummy, I could never remember his name, but
Oh yeah,
he
me
was
neither.
really
Yeah.
good. He was really
Next
good in the
time I
movie.
come, I'll cut me a steak.
Yeah, yeah, cut me a steak, yeah, because he had the guy's ear with the scissors.
Yeah, dude.
He
I was telling somebody. I think I was telling one time Jacob Martin. Remember Jacob Martin?
yeah, Jacob,
Like
yeah.
how John Woo he always uses little things like that to make you,
Hmm.
at least to me, like in Mission Impossible 2,
Right.
they use it with that cigar and the little finger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And in Hard Target, he uses it with the scissors on the earlobe.
Yeah, with the ear, yeah.
There's another one I think on Face Off. There's another scene like that, like little
Hmm.
things like that that makes me a little uncomfortable because I know it's gonna hurt. You know.
Right, right. Well, there's quite a few John Woo isms in that
Hmm.
movie, like
Yeah.
especially when him and the mummy are facing off. They have their back to each other
Hmm.
and they're talking. Yeah, then they come out. I'm like, "Dawg, that's straight from Face Off. You know what I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mean?
And the pigeons and all that stuff. Well,
Right,
that's a John
right.
Woo thing, but yeah.
Yeah,
The motorcycle scene.
dog. I was laughing. I'm like, come
When
on,
he gets
man.
on the
This dude
stands on.
surfing on a motorcycle, dog. Wait a minute. And then not only does he surf on the motorcycle, but then he jumps up, rolls over the top of the van, and then lands on his feet.
Yeah. Shoots him, explodes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I said, you know what? I'm going with it. I'm just having, I got to the point, where I'm like, I'm having fun. All
Yeah.
right. You just throw reality and logic out the window I'm having fun with this, man.
That's one of the very few movies that I saw in theaters of Van Damme.
Yeah.
Like one of the, it was Lionheart, Hard
Mm-hmm.
Target,
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street Fighter I saw in the movies. Yep.
I I think that's the only three that I can think of. Yeah, I think those are the only three
Those
that I
three.
saw.
Yeah, I
And then
saw
eventually, many years later, like several years ago, when we
mhm.
died young, I went to see it
You
because
want
it
to see
was,
that?
and then, so I had from Hard Target all the way to Expendables 2 when I went to the theater and saw it, like the new
Okay.
Expendables 2. That one, I'm
Nice.
like, I'm gonna go and watch it in theaters. I'm gonna get on those seats that vibrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't seen Van Damme in the big screen forever.
And well, okay, so okay, I did see. I think Death Warrant was the first one I saw in the cinema. I saw Death Warrant. I saw Lionheart. I saw Double Impact. Universal Soldier. Hard Target. Believe it or not, I did see Double Team in the theater because I was still some of the Van Damme fan, and I did like Dennis Rodman, so I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
see
yeah,
Double
yeah.
Team. The one at the ice, the hockey rink, was it Sudden Impact?
Sudden Death.
Sudden Death. Yep, I saw that one. I think Sudden Death was probably the last Van Damme movie I saw in the theater. I think. And I saw Street Fighter. I did see Street Fighter. Yeah.
Was Double Team the last movie in cinemas? His last one or no?
It probably was. I think 'cause I do remember seeing that. So I get them mixed up. I don't know which one came out first, Sudden Death or Double Team.
I want to say Sudden Death. I could be wrong, but for some reason I want to say Sudden Death.
Sudden Death. Okay, yeah. So Double Team. Yeah. So I gotta say, yeah, probably Double Team was probably the last movie I did see of him in the theater.
Because Double Team was what, 97, 96?
97. Yeah,
97. Okay,
97.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So bad. Oh my god. Like that was yeah, so but that's why I want to do this stream because I want to give Van Damme his flowers because he did have a stretch where he was the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like he was the man. Like this guy was like Bobby Brown to Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like Michael had the long career, but there was a point where even during Michael's career, Bobby Brown was the guy before cocaine took over. Van Damme was the
Yeah.
guy until cocaine took over. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. When he did Double Team,
Yeah.
he said in his reality show, he said like behind scenes he was
Mm-hmm.
doing cocaine lanes when he was shooting Double Team.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
even with Street Fighter, I heard Street Fighter was like a cocaine fucking
All right.
smorgasbord. Yeah. Dog, look up the behind the scenes street. They said sometimes he would come to set so high where he couldn't even say his lines. Like they had to shut production down until he
Oh,
sobered
dude,
up.
that's bad.
That's how bad he was. And then
Yeah.
he was boning the chick that played Cammy.
Cammy, yes, yes.
Yeah.
He was married with somebody else, I think.
Yeah, he was. I think he was married. And then he was boning Cammy. So, yeah, I think they need to do a movie about the making of Street Fighter. that shit's a movie all by itself. Oh
Yeah,
man,
that movie was bad, but yeah, it is
yeah,
what it is.
yeah. It was. I try not to think about that one. I'm like, out of all the people to play Guile, who is an American patriot, you pick Jean Claude Van Damme to play an American. Okay. So bro, okay, so to wrap up the stream, actually I kind of cheated because I already did my list, so I want to do a ranking of the 9 movies that we just covered at where they rank from 9 to 1. All right, so I'm gonna start out first. I'm gonna give you time to think about yours. So I'm gonna pull mine up. Let's see, and I think you probably can guess number 1 and number 2. I think I already said it. All right, so ranking all the movies so we covered Hard Target, Nowhere to Run, Cyborg, Death Warrant, Kickboxer, Double Impact, Universal Soldier, Lionheart, and Bloodsport, right? And we made a special mention of Black Eagle, which he had 2 scenes in, and No Retreat, No Surrender, and of course the singlet dancing and breaking. So if I rate them right, so at number 9 I have Nowhere to Run. That's dead last because I don't remember that movie. Number 8 I have Death Warrant. Number 7 I have Hard Target. Number 6 Cyborg. 5 Kickboxer. Yes, Kickboxer is number 5. 4 Double Impact. 3 Universal Soldier. 2 Lionheart, and 1 Bloodsport.
Yeah. Oh, dude. One and two, I keep them very close. I'm
Hmm.
gonna go. I was gonna write them down. I don't have a pencil right now, but I'm gonna try. Just help me with the track. Number one,
Okay.
I'm gonna put Bloodsport.
Okay.
Number two, I'm gonna put Universal Soldier.
Okay.
Number three, Hard Target.
Mm.
Now, Chance is my favorite Van Damme character.
Okay.
The character.
Okay.
That's why my kid is
I'm
Chance.
about to say
And
you got that high up. That's high up there. Okay. Yeah.
I would say the next one will be Double Impact,
Okay.
Chad and Alex, uh, Kickboxer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what am I missing? Three more, right? Four more? No.
You still got Death Warrant, Nowhere to Run, and Cyborg.
Cyborg, Nowhere to Run, and Death Warrant will be like the one at the end.
Okay, Death Warrant would be dead
Yeah,
last. So
yeah.
you put No One over Death Warrant.
I put what?
So you would put Nowhere to Run over Death
Yeah,
Warrant.
yes. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And actually, the No Way to Run reminds me a little bit of Desert Heat for some reason. Maybe because
Okay.
the motorcycle or whatever. That's the one
Mm-hmm.
he did with Donnie Trejo later.
Right. Day
I,
Trail.
I,
Okay.
I don't know what year that was, but
Yeah. I mean that's a dope brand. I mean, just almost we're almost there. I mean, we
kind of,
both
kind of.
agree Bloodsport is number one. Unfortunately, he never could top that movie. I'm pretty sure that drove him crazy over the years too, because like as an artist, what that does to your psyche, knowing that I did my best work here. Now I'm gonna try to top that, and for years he can never top it. It's like,
Dude,
damn.
yeah, when he did the quest is bad, but it's like
Mm,
a little bit of a copy. Like he's tried to recreate the Kumite kind
Bloodsport,
of.
right, right.
Yeah.
And I never
But
watched that movie either. At the
oh,
time,
dude.
I was working at Blockbuster when the Quest came out, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I don't want to see that shit. Because by then, I was done with Van Damme. I was like, I don't want to see that shit.
Watch it, bro. But it's not a good movie. But it has some good moments or characters, five different characters.
Okay,
But other than that, no, it's not very good.
okay. Well, I got one more before we close. One more. Okay, the Van Damme villains opponents. All right, so you got Chung Li, you
Hmm.
got Tung Po,
Yeah,
Attila, Sandman, whom I'm Fender.
Fender.
Okay, all right. So out of those five, because I think those are probably his best five, right? So how would you rank those five?
I would say I would put Sandman at the end, even though he has some sort of powers or something. I don't know.
You can't kill me, Burke. I'm the Sandman.
I, I would put between Tong Po and Chong Li, but I think Tong Po is worse because he rapes Mei Lin.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. You bleed like my
Mei
lean.
Lin.
My lean. Good fuck. No!
Um,
Tell me the truth. Tell
Fender,
me.
Fender. I would put Fender on the number four because
Okay.
Fender he's pretty intimidating looking because that with the
Hmm.
eye contacts or whatever
Right, right.
and the voice that he has. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would put probably like Tom Po, Chong Li, Fender, and Sandman.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah, totally. I don't even have to follow that. That's perfect. That's perfect.
and
Yeah,
we don't
because
know much about their background, see, because they're not developed. The
they
villains, you know.
well that's what they did back there. Like, bro, not everything needs exposition. Like
Hmm.
nowadays, you have a movie with a villain, they have to give the whole like. Sometimes we don't need that. Just give us a
Yeah.
badass villain. I don't care how Fender grew up. I just want to see the eyes and the
Yeah.
just give me that.
Now they get prequels and spin-offs and all these things.
Right, right. We don't need all that shit, man. But yeah, that was a good list, man. Wait, do we say Attila? Do we put Attila in there?
Oh no, we didn't put him. No,
Attila.
no,
Okay.
it was. I would put Attila between
Fender
Fender
and Chun Li.
and Chong Li and
Okay.
yeah, and Chong Li, yeah.
And Chun Li. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Because yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't much to his character either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was reading some comments earlier from Mike from Did You See that says I only seen Van Damme in Hell. That movie is like from 2006 or 2007. It's
Mike.
not bad. It's actually kind of decent. It's actually I own the DVD.
I can't with Mike, man. You know what I'm saying? Out of all the classics, the one movie you name in hell, yo, Mike, you fired, bro. Oh my god, I never seen that one, man. And well, I think another. Well, I said that Kickboxer was probably his most overrated, but
Mhm.
I think one of his most underrated movies was JCVD
Oh,
that came
dude,
out in 2008. That was really good.
dude, it makes a difference when he speaks in his
Hmm.
mother tongue. You know, and the
Right,
acting, huge
right,
difference. Huge
huge
difference.
difference.
Hmm.
Damn, like that. I think that was his Oscar moment, man.
Yeah, like that monologue that he does in French.
Hmm. Right.
A lot of heart,
Yeah, and I don't think he was
emotion.
acting. I think he really felt that. I don't think he was
Yeah,
acting in that moment
yeah.
because Van Damme is a really emotional person. Like he wears his heart on his sleeve. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And he's really been diagnosed with he's bipolar as well. So he gets very emotional. He'll start crying. Like I saw one clip, bro. I saw one clip where I guess he was going to do an exhibition fight with this kickboxing champion overseas or whatever, and he was talking to his wife Gladys about how everybody counts him out and how everybody calls him washed up or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, so he's having a moment, right? So she's like, trying to calm him down, and he's like, "I'm not done. Of course, I'm not done. Come on, please, but don't what? I talk about this from my heart, and you stop, Gladys." And he
Yeah,
walks away, and she's like, "Oh, he's so pissed. Oh my god."
yeah. Uh, Kan Kansat or Hamsat. He's
Hamset, yeah.
an Olympic medalist Thai boxer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to fight that guy.
It never happened, but yeah, I remember when that was the plan, but it never happened. Yeah.
He would have killed Van Damme, wouldn't he?
Oh man, I'm gonna start training again. I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop smoking, all these things,
right.
dude. An Olympic medalist, but
Olympic.
like he said, if I win, they're gonna say that it was rigged. If I lose, they're gonna say I'm a
Hmm.
fraud. So he's like,
Right.
I have a lose
Either way,
lose.
you can't win. Yeah, either way, you
Yeah.
can't
So
win. I don't know if he was inspired by Kung Lee. I know Kung Lee was a actor that went to the UFC and won a couple of. I think that's his name, right? Kung Lee. Am I saying his
yes,
name right?
they did a movie together, I think,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something
So
like
he was an actor turned UFC. So I think he won like a couple of matches in the UFC. So I don't know if Van Damme got inspired by that. Like, well, shit, if he can compete, I can. No, bro, no,
that.
you
That's a
can't.
different
No,
thing.
it's a
Yeah.
different thing, bro. And I would like I felt bad for him in that moment when he started crying, but then I couldn't help but start laughing
Uh,
because then he came out the room. He's hugging his wife and shit. He's wife blowing his nose and I'm sorry, I don't mean to do this. Usually I don't like to scream, but I tried so hard. I left my pets and my dog. He died of a broken heart, and I'm like, this nigga having a full breakdown.
dude, they should make a movie of how he left everything he had in Belgium and
Yeah.
how his adventures, and then how he went from being here, not knowing the language, and then to being like a top dog in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said,
Yeah.
being in in cover magazines all over.
Right. Right. Man,
Oh,
this
dude.
dude say the
Huh?
Gooch from Different Strokes could beat Van Damme. Ha, that's funny. Mr. T could beat Van Damme.
Is Mr. T a fighter, or did he? Do you know?
He did some martial arts.
Ah,
He
okay.
military guy. He did some martial arts. He did some wrestling, some amateur wrestling.
Ah, okay.
So
I
he
didn't know
does
that.
have a fight. He has a fighting background, but I guess in a street fight where you just put him in an alley somewhere and go at it, Mr. T would probably fuck him up. But if you're talking
Yeah.
about like a competitive martial arts competition, yeah, you're not stopping Van Damme's kicks.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say? Oh,
Mm.
did you hear about the reboot? The A24 wants to do a Bloodsport.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, dude.
A24 Bloodsport?
They announced it. I would say maybe a few months ago, month and a half ago. So,
Really?
so I don't know, dude. Like who are they gonna cast? That's like my first question. You know,
I mean, only one that I know of that could probably pull that off maybe is Scott Atkins, but he's a little older now, though, right?
he's in his mid 40s,
Mid 40s. Okay, so
mid
he probably a
40s,
little bit.
47, 48, something like that.
He's the only guy. He's the only guy I could think. I don't know anybody else
Yeah.
that's like. I know. the Skarsgård boy. I know he's been doing some,
Oh
action
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fighting stuff lately.
Because you know how A24 is.
Hmm.
It can be good or it can be bad. And they're a little artsy, so I don't know, dude. That's a
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
movie for
That's a
A24, I
weird
think.
that's a weird studio. Yeah, look, I'd rather Golden Harvest, man. Golden Harvest
Yeah.
produced Bloodsport. Yeah, man. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up though, man. I appreciate you coming through and taking the time out to nerd out with me a little bit and talk some Van Damme here. I've been wanting to do this for the longest, so I finally feel happy that I got it out now and I
Yeah,
got to
dude.
tell you
Thank you.
my displeasure.
I can talk Van Damme all day, dude.
Yeah, yeah, it was especially kickboxing like that. That was a catalyst of me doing this stream because I know how much you love kickboxing. I'm like, damn, I want to have a conversation about it with him about how that movie pissed me off. I do like it, but damn, that movie pissed me off though, man. But yeah, appreciate it. So
No,
to
thank
wrap it
you.
up, if you want to plug your channel in, what you got coming up, anything that you want to share.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, cinematic tendency. I talk about movies. I do out of the theater reaction. Sometimes 3 4 minutes. Sometimes 60 seconds, depending how much I have to say.
Yeah,
I do unboxing videos. I do unboxing videos like figures, this kind, or anime like Master Roshi over here, stuff
nice.
like that. Uh, John Wick 4 over here, stuff like that. Uh, Adult toys, even though that sounds weird, but
I was about to
not that,
say, clean
not
that
that
up,
kind,
man.
not
Clean
that
that
kind
up.
of toys, not that kind of toys. Um, and I do, I don't do a lot of vlogs, but
Mm,
sometimes I do a couple. I've done a vlog of my son, Jean Claude, who he did a couple of tournaments of BJJ, so I did a couple of those vlogs. So yeah, a little bit of vlogs, a little random, movie related, unboxing videos for toys, anime, comics,
mm,
and yeah, that's pretty much what my channel is about. And I do live streams. Rashad has been with me several
mm.
times, and thank you all for always
Yes,
being
sir.
there.
Yes,
And
sir.
anything upcoming, I'm thinking this week we're having F1 comes out. So
Yeah,
most
yeah.
likely I'm gonna do like a reaction of out of the theater reaction of F1, and pretty much any movie that comes every week. Every single week we have new movies, so I do
Hmm.
at least one video, sometimes two a week, all depends, but at least one every week for sure.
Right, no doubt, no doubt. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Make sure you check him out. Cinematic Tendencies. Tell him I sent you. Dope channel, dope person. You know what I mean? And as far as myself, I think Megan. I'm going to an early screening for Megan 2.
Oh yeah,
Either
coming
Monday,
out.
either Monday or Tuesday. I forgot when the screening is, but
Hmm.
shout out to Universal for still looking out for me because since I got kicked out of the Critics Association, I don't get the invites like I used to, but Universal still looks out for me, man.
Nice,
So
great.
yeah, I got Megan 2 dropping F1. I'll be dropping that as well. And I just dropped a video for 28 years later.
I saw it. I saw it. Dude, you didn't like it, bro. You didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
You
I
didn't
didn't
like
like
it.
it. It was too many zombie dicks that I more than I can handle, man.
Jason Momoa. It was Jason
Jason Momoa.
Momoa.
Jason Momoa. Oh my god. I'm like, why,
Uh,
dude?
from
Why?
from
Can
dude from dude next Jason Momoa.
dude like can you like at least like cover that? You know what I'm saying? Like remember how Terminator where Arnold was walking and you
Yeah, I
saw his
think.
shit out, but it was kind of in the dark.
Yeah,
You only saw it when it swung. You know what I'm saying? But in this movie, it's like right in your face, man. And I'm sitting kind of close up to so it feel like it's kind of like,
I know. I know. Same. Same.
damn.
I was in the theater too. Yeah, looking like Jason
Yeah,
Momoa.
yeah, yeah. That movie was kind of
You didn't like
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I didn't like
I
it. I didn't
probably
like it.
watch it
Yeah. So
again. I like some aspects about it, but I want to watch it again in the theater if I can. I'm trying. I'm gonna try to rewatch it. Prosthetic.
I
Somebody
mean,
says in the
well,
comments.
prosthetics. I mean, well, the first 30 minutes were actually good. Like I was into the first 30 minutes of the movie with him and the boy in
Uh-huh.
in the woods and shit. But after that, when the mama came into like when the mama became the
Yeah.
focal point, that's when it
Yeah.
lost me. I'm like, can somebody kill these two?
Dude, the father son. I was thinking about Kratos from God of War, the
Yeah,
video game. Like
yeah.
that. him and his son, like he's like teaching him how to survive. I was getting all
Mhm.
those vibes about the video game.
Right, and then and my favorite part of the movie was when they were running back to the colony or whatever, the compound, and then
And
that the
Jason
alpha
Momoa
was
is behind.
chasing them. Yeah, that shit had my heart kind of like, dude, I'm like, and he was
Yeah, yeah,
bucking too, man. I'm like, oh
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It was like watching the T-1000, man. I'm like, yo, y'all hurry up.
Yeah, I was the same. I was like really into it. Like I barely got distracted.
Yeah. But then, like I said, when once the mama became the focal point, that's when the movie lost me.
Mm.
It lost me, bro. I was like, yo, please kill the zombie birth. I said, I seen a
Oh,
zombie give birth to a baby.
dude, the new zombies, those are creepy, dude. The ones that crawl,
Oh, the crawling ones, yeah.
they were nasty looking, dude.
Yeah, no, look like slugs, man. Just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
A whole family, you know.
I know, man. But hey, I mean, some people really dig it. You know, it's a very divisive film. I fall on the side of people that didn't care for it, but to each his own, man. To each his own.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, y'all, everybody that tuned in, I appreciate all of y'all. And once again, I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Check out Cinematic Tendencies, and that's it, and that's all. So, thank you for coming out and keep kicking.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you guys, everybody watching live or after the fact. Thank you for sticking around and talking some Van Damage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace out.